As for 5 minutes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I think it's most unfortunate that the deliberations of this committee have reached such a partisan and rancorous level. I've always been told that where there is righteousness in the heart, that there's beauty in the character. I've also been led to believe that the Constitution requires the executive branch and Congress to accommodate the interests of the other to avoid unnecessary conflicts. The framers of our constitutional democracy expected, and I quote, that where conflicts in scope of authority arose between the coordinate branches, a spirit of dynamic compromise would promote resolution of the dispute in a manner most likely to result in efficient and effective functioning of our governmental system. Attorney General William French Smith, who served under President Reagan, observed, and I quote, "The accommodation required is not simply an exchange of concessions or a test of political strength. It is an obligation of each branch to make principled effort to acknowledge and, if possible, to meet the legitimate needs of the other branch." Our committee has failed its constitutional duty to accommodate throughout this investigation. For more than a year, the committee has been holding the Attorney General to an impossible standard by demanding documents he is prohibited by law from producing, such as documents involving federal wiretaps and grand jury materials. Additionally, the committee has continuously demanded documents pertaining to ongoing criminal investigations and prosecutions, which the Department explained would endanger the lives of confidential informants and jeopardize active criminal cases. Former Assistant Attorney General Ted Olson explained that these documents have been steadfastly protected by Democratic and Republican administrations alike since the 19th century. Late last Friday night, the Chairman finally made his first step at accommodation by revising the contempt citation to drop these irresponsible demands. Then, in this late hour, the Chairman shifted the focus of his demands to ask for documents that show whether the Department's initial inaccurate denials about gun walking were part of a broader effort by the Department to obstruct a congressional investigation. In contrast, during the course of the investigation, the Department of Justice has repeatedly made significant efforts to accommodate this committee's legitimate oversight interests. It has made 26 individuals available for interviews and hearings and provided the committee with thousands of documents. The Attorney General has testified before Congress regarding Fast and Furious a total of 9 times. As the investigation progressed, Department leadership realized that their initial denials that gun walking occurred were based on faulty information that they received from ATF and the Phoenix U.S. Attorney's Office. At that point, the Department not only acknowledged the inaccuracies and withdrew the letter, but provided 1,300 pages of internal deliberative documents that showed how the initially inaccurate letter to Congress was drafted. Those documents clearly showed that the officials in the Department's headquarters had no intent to mislead Congress. Despite this evidence, the Chairman continues to accuse Department officials of obstructing the committee's investigation and seeks additional internal deliberative documents as part of a fishing expedition to support this unsubstantiated allegation. These allegations have continued on and on without regard to what evidence or information is provided by the Justice Department. I hope that the American people will see this as a witch hunt, as political activity, and not the legitimate interests of getting to the truth. And I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentleman yields.